Hey guys, I'm back doing a stream. I haven't done one of these for ages. Um, I've been asked when you're going to stream again, when you're going to stream again, but I've just been playing second fiddle to the Blue Lounge. He's doing a good job. So I decided as Mo is off watching the game today, that I'll be hosting the stream today because there's quite a bit to talk about. Bittersweet victory for us today. It was one of those games where obviously we won 4-0, so that's a lot to be happy about, but we lost both our strikers. So long term, this is how damaging is this going to be for us. So that's what we're going to really be discussing in our stream today about the fact that we've lost both our strikers and what does it mean going forward when we play other matches. We're quite fortunate in that we've got a winnable number of games. We could say fortunate or maybe unfortunate because we're going to be playing teams who are going to be playing that low block. And do we have enough in our armory to break down these teams? So Kai Havertz scored a very good goal today. Is he going to be able to do it on a consistent basis? We don't know how long Lukaku is going to be out for, and we don't know how long Werner is going to be out for. Werner looks like a hamstring injury, so that's a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks, I'd say. With Lukaku, probably, I don't know the extent of the ankle injury, so it can be anything between 2 weeks and 2 months. Joe Cole was saying that it could be a long one if it's a bad ankle injury. He's had ankle injuries in the past as well, so I'm just hoping that it's not too bad. But we'll have to wait and see. Right, I've got Eric in the chat at the moment, so I'll just invite him on. So welcome, Eric Blue. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How about you?
Well. Yeah. As I said, bittersweet. I'm happy with the result, but I'm not happy with everything else what happened. Especially with the injuries at the moment. So, yeah, that could be an issue. So, short term happy, but long term a bit cautious. So, what are your thoughts on the game then?
Yeah, I won't pretend that I paid too much attention to the match. I didn't. I think when we went 2-0 up, I just I zoned out and I started watching the United match with more focus.
Right.
I was still watching the Chelsea match, but I was more focused on the United game, and it was always going to be a win. And I'm happy that the team kept a clean sheet. You know, they just did their job. And Harvey scored a very nice goal. So hopefully he can do a job until Lukaku and Werner come back.
Yeah. Hey, big up, Mo. Welcome to the stream, mate. How you doing? What's your thoughts?
Big up, Max, Eric Blue. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing good.
Yeah.
Bittersweet.
Yeah, it's one of them ones where happy for the result, but just those two injuries, you couldn't write it to both strikers. Yeah.
I know. I mean, you can't write it. The thing is, that's the dampening. The result is I'm happy with it, but it's just the injuries. Now, I'm even like me with injuries. I'm always. I believe that some of these players, they're not telling the manager, because sometimes when you know that you're tired or whatever, your muscles or whatever. I'm not talking about the Lukaku one. I'm talking about the Werner one.
Yeah.
I think sometimes come clean. Tell the manager that, you know what, I think I'm tired. But because of they want to play, they want to win their position, I think some of them are pushing themselves. Because it do give you a hint before your hamstring goes, though. It will tell you it's getting tight. But some players, they don't take a break. They just don't want to lose their position. And I hope it's just a tweak. If it's a tweak, it will be off like 10 days. But if it's a tear, well, that's the big one. If it's a tear, it's a big one. But other than that, I'm happy. I'm happy with everybody today.
Yep. So welcome, Boogeyman. Welcome, Bobby. How you guys doing?
Hey guys, yeah, we're good. Good. Well, I'm good.
Hello, I'm good.
Yeah, you good? So what do you think of the match then? What's the What's your thoughts, guys? I'll start with Boogeyman, then we'll go to Bobby.
I watched the game and I was. Let me just put it this way: I went to this game knowing that we're going to play good and we're going to win it, so I was more relaxed. And I've seen a lot of possession, a lot of passes, and Werner has tried a lot of things, and I feel like he's improving this particular game. His finishing are still off a little. I was happy to see Jorginho back, and he's shown a lot of quality that we already knew from him. And the good thing about the whole thing is the fact that Havertz come in and score goals, and also the fact that the midfield keep passing the ball, releasing the ball as fast as we criticized them last time that they were not releasing the ball quick for Lukaku. But the game today, Kante, Jorginho, and even our defense were pretty much creating services to our attack. And Lukaku today, he gave me mixed feelings because well, he didn't play too much, but today he tried. Like every time he has the ball, he tried to run into the defense, but he's still lacking some quality at the end. I mean, sorry for his injury. Then I think he'll be missing next game, but I'm not worried too much if Lukaku is not there. I'm worried about Werner though. If Werner can come back faster, we love that. So at the end of the day, I'm happy that we rested Kovacic and Ruben. And other than that, our defense
Right,
line.
so you're saying you're happy about, but Werner missed that. Lukaku put one on the plate for Werner, and it was easier to score, and he cleared it. And if you remember that Lukaku run, it was Lukaku's run for the penalty, and that was a decent run. Had he scored that goal, because he went past two players, just about to shoot when the defender took him out.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you say Lukaku, Werner was supposed to score an assist from Lukaku. Is that what you just said?
Yeah. Did you miss that? It was in the first few minutes.
Oh, the first
Lukaku crossed it. Yeah, and he was right in front of the goal, and it was easier to score.
Then I missed
Yeah,
that
you got to go back and watch that one because that was it was like
around 10 minutes.
Oh no, that was like it was like a defender clearing it rather than an attacker trying to score it. It was easier to score. All he had to do is get his foot on the ball. I don't know what he was doing. Yeah, I know that Mo's smiling, but Mo knows the chance I'm talking about.
You know, I didn't see it at all. But at the end of the day, I just noticed that when Havertz came, he was getting all the service on time, and it was just that connection. I can feel it that Lukaku didn't have with when he was on the field. That's my impression all the time. I just want to say, I feel like,
yeah, you got to look at the opposition as well, though. The opposition, because I thought Lukaku, because obviously you missed the first 10 minutes for Lukaku was on what for 20 minutes, I think. And in that spell that Lukaku played today, I thought he was busy, he was sharp, and he looked like he was up for it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm happy that we rested those two main midfielder, Kovacic, and we didn't need them at all. Like, that's the thing. We just, today, we feel like we have a squad, not just we really have a squad. And I wasn't really impressed with the Spanish guy. And Alonso looked completely out of confidence. Like he just kept losing control and pushing he just doesn't get it. It's not the same Alonso.
Alonso, I think he needs to start when he doesn't start and comes off. And that's the thing with Alonso. If he's not warmed up into the game, I just think he struggles, and he did struggle when he came on today.
Oh yeah, I don't see him taking back his shirt anyways.
Yeah. So Bobby, welcome to the stream, mate. You're the only reason I'm doing this stream, Bobby, because you keep telling me when you're streaming again, when you're streaming. So I thought I'll skip it up. I said, as Mo's off today.
It's been too long. You were the main man. We started with you. And then,
I've taken a back seat
we
for
Mo. But since he's not around,
because he can be more consistent than me. So that's why I thought, I'll let him I'll let him do the streams because I can't do daily streams because of family commitments, etc. But yeah, so what's your talk on? What's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, like Boogeyman, I'm happy we rested Kovacic and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. They needed the rest. I was on a stream earlier where the usual Chelsea short-sightedness came up. You know, why is Ruben not playing this? I'm like, mate, relax. This is a squad game. We've got to exercise the squad. And look what's happened. We've lost 2 strikers in a few minutes. So the squad has to be used. You know, even some people on Twitter, oh, Ziyech didn't play. Oh, gosh, if he can't get on because after we've got 5 substitutes, he's never going to make it. I just chill. These guys are going to get to that. They're going to get game time. The games are coming thick and fast. We need them fresh and sharp. We need them to be able to come off the bench and do what some of the players did today. I thought they all looked fresh today. Why? Because they had had some rest. And that's how we're going to have to go on with the season. Havertz did well. And, you know, Havertz is a very deceptive player. He's becoming quite a lethal striker. You know, he gets goals in strange ways that you don't expect. I think the forward line looked more fluid without Lukaku as we were last season. The thing is, the same old wastefulness was always underlining the performance up front as it was last season. So, you know, nothing's changed, but definitely I can see, you know, players that haven't played today playing against Norwich. Is it on Saturday or is it Sunday we're playing them?
Saturday at 12:30.
Yeah. Saturday. So we'll see them. We'll see the likes of Barkley. Everybody did well. I'm still a bit concerned with Saul. I'm not sure what he was doing today.
Yeah, Saul was a bit. Yeah, he was off the pace as well, wasn't he? He's not.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Don't know if he's ready. Yeah.
Alonso, nothing about him surprises me. This is what he does, isn't it? He has a few good games, then he goes into this mediocre sort of doldrums. Then suddenly, halfway through the season, he'll pop up with a game or two. Then he'll go back again. That's Alonso. I'm glad Chilwell got to rest, and I'm glad he took off Kante before those people killed him, because Malmo only came to practice kung fu. They weren't playing football. They were kicking everybody everywhere. That's what concerns me about the return leg, because they're going to be even worse at home. They don't have the ability. They just, you know.
Yeah, was it that, or was it they were just too sharp and quick for them, and they're not used to playing this sort of fast-paced football, so they're just a bit late all the time for the tackles, probably.
A bit of both. They've had a full season, though. They're far ahead of us in their season. In fact, their season's coming to an end soon.
Yeah, but comparing the Swedish league to the Premier League is chalk and cheese, isn't it? Yeah, when you talk about the pace. Yeah.
So them shouldn't have been on the pitch. That Christensen shouldn't have been on the pitch, and the other guy, the bald guy at the back, shouldn't have been. He should have got another yellow at least, and be sent off. Yeah.
I see you in the background, Dennis. I'll bring you on soon. I haven't got the license that Baggy has, because obviously he does more streams than me. So on this one, I can only have 6 at a time, but I will bring you in soon. But DJ, welcome, mate.
Big up. Hey, Max. Good evening, everyone. How you guys all doing? I'm good, mate.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Good evening, DJ.
So what's your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, a good performance. Obviously, we could have got more goals today, but obviously the 4 goals is what it is. It's what it is. We got the 4 goals. I'm happy about that. Obviously, my concerns are with Lukaku and Werner's injuries, because I think I did say I know we were making some comments earlier on, and I think Boogeyman came. He put a comment on there saying we have Ziyech. I think it was Ziyech, Odoi, and Havertz who can do the business for us if they're not there. But I'll still say one thing. For me, that I mean, you know, it was a great performance today in terms of that. I mean, as I said, it could have been more goals. As I said, like Bobby though, again, Sal does worry me a little bit. I mean, he came on the pitch today again. I just don't know what he was doing again today. I mean, I think he seems to be trying more harder than what he should do, just to make an impression, I think. But other than that, I thought our performance generally was good. I thought Mendy had nothing to do for the whole evening, so he had a bit of a backseat after the Brentford game, so it was good for him. I thought our defence played really, really well. Rudiger,
Yeah.
this guy, man. This guy needs to get a contract signed up very quickly, man. What this guy was doing today, and Kante. Can tell me something about this guy, Kante. What a player this guy is!
Yes,
Oh my God!
superb.
All he missed today was a goal. His play today, his break-up play, he's setting up passes today, unbelievable. Overall, mate, I'm just very happy. I really am. Obviously Juventus won today, was the only downer of the night because obviously they got 9 points.
Well, wasn't it?
It was a late goal,
minute.
A late goal, which was the only downer. But hey, listen, we're going to go through in this group. I still think we can still finish top of the group. I still think we can do. We've got Malmo again next week at their ground, and then we got we got Zenit St. Petersburg again, and it's Juventus again. So yeah, I think we can still get some victories out of them and still finish in the group. So yeah, overall, mate, I'm very, very happy.
Okay, cool. Eric, I'm just going to swap you a minute with Couch because I just want to get Couch's.
I was going to offer. Yeah.
I'll bring you back. I'll bring you back later. Thank you. Yeah. So Dennis, welcome, mate. Welcome to the stream.
What's going on, fellas? Everything's good.
This is the four-man stream. Yeah.
Hey, Dennis.
Yeah. So I just want to get your thoughts for the game.
Man, it's just so hard to feel real good about that game after losing those guys to injuries like that, man. This is like the point in the season where you wanted them to kick on, find some form, bang some goals. And even before all that happened, I was even questioning the decision to play Lukaku because it seemed like it was a game that, we could have used some rotation. Like Kai obviously needed minutes, hasn't played in a minute. Just give me a second. Sorry, guys. Work is still trying to bug me here. Sorry about that. But, yeah, and like it just felt like this would have been an ideal situation for him to come in and get like some minutes under his belt, and you go right back to Lukaku on the weekend. And then lo and behold, he gets this injury, and then right after that, like Werner gets an injury, and now we're like we're bare thin. At the striker position, we're going to be depending on a guy that is hopefully just found a little bit of form after scoring today. But other than that, like I wanted to touch on like Sal Niguez, man. That guy doesn't look like he enjoys playing football anymore, man. Am I right or am I wrong though? Like I watch his body language.
Everyone said that.
It makes me feel like he doesn't want to play football anymore.
Yeah. Can we send him back in January, or do we have to keep him?
I don't know, man. But I would rather Billy Gilmore come in and get those minutes if that's the case right now, because it doesn't make any sense. This guy does not want to be here, man. It feels like, man. Like,
and now we've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Everything.
Yeah. Now we've got Loftus-Cheek sort of as our sort of. I wouldn't even say fourth choice. I'd say that he's a rotation midfielder now. So now we've got him firing, and even I think Barkley's probably ahead of Niguez in the pecking order in my book. No, seriously, why? What has Niguez done?
Yeah, but I think the fact that we signed Saul is the reason why Ruben has trying to take that position. I think it is a wake up call for Ruben, and there's that positive part of it. And I think Ruben should stay, and so can keep Ruben on his toes. Because listen, Ruben, I think we signed up for a year, right, or something, a year loan, right? So maybe Loftus-Cheek may have another injury, and then he will wake up and take that position. Also, I think we should keep him because we have.
No, I hear you. Like he's definitely an in case of broken glass or in case of emergency break glass.
Yeah, but
exciting. But I don't see the value in him right now. I don't see anything that he's done like this since coming. He doesn't look like he fits with this squad. Like I'm being completely honest. And this is somebody that I thought watching him before he came, I was like, yeah, this guy can add something to the squad. He can bang some goals. 1-2 connect. Like he looked good at Atletico when I saw him playing. Maybe not last year, but the times that I seen him play, I thought he was an actual decent midfielder. And now he looks completely lost. I'm not even kidding.
He's off the boil there, isn't he? Because obviously he was out of favour with.
He's trying too much.
Yeah, I can see Mo smiling in the background. Did you have something to say?
You guys can remember. You remember like the first one of the first few stream I joined you guys. What did I say about Saul?
Yeah, you called him the Dele
Alli of Spain. Boogeyman went off. No, that's not true. I'm telling you, Chelsea have better midfielders than him. in the academy and we send them on loan. Believe me, Saul is not making it at Chelsea. And there are young players right now like Gallagher that when they come next year, they're not leaving. They want to prove to Chelsea they're better than the ones we want to sign. Chelsea youth players are ready to die for the shirt right now. Ruben is proving it. You guys watch and see. Watch and see. These kids that people are underestimating will prove to most Chelsea fans that they are better than the players we raving about at other clubs and the players that all the fans want. These players are good.
You're right. You're right. It makes absolutely no sense to have Saul Niguez and get rid of Conor Gallagher. I mean, it's night and day. So you're right. That's why they put a 30 million buyout clause at the end. They know he's rubbish.
No, you're right. You're right. All I can say is our young players, when they don't have minute, the next thing they do is they want to leave. So if Gallagher come and he cannot play 4 or 5 games in a month, he's not going to be happy. He's going to be like, I'm leaving. He's not going to say
Boogie.
It's going to be a problem.
Boogie, that's what people are saying. You see, this is coming from, it's coming from whatever. Nathan Hampadu, even Conor Gallagher, they wanted to stay this season. It was the club that told them, you know what, we want you guys to go and gain experience. Conor Gallagher, even Ruben, they wanted to send him out. He's the one that insists on staying. Believe me, these players, they want to fight for their place. What you're hearing outside is not don't believe everything you hear. These kids, they're ready to die for this club.
I have an example.
I heard the same about Gallagher, though. Gallagher, I saw an interview with him and he said he wanted to become the next Mason Mount, stay and fight for his place. Yeah.
Thank you very much. You are talking about Livramento. You are talking about Livramento. Livramento is different because you know why? Because of Tuchel was in a way wanted to keep John Sterling. The reason why they sent him out because he was out injured for 6 months last year. If not, John Sterling would have stayed at Chelsea. So it wouldn't have made sense for Livramento, for him personally, to stay. That's right. Believe me, John Sterling, wait until his loan finishes. Next year you will see him. Boogeyman, you will tell me, oh, Mo, you're right. We have players that can play in this team. They are ready. So no need for us to go and sign 70 million players, 80 million players. You have to sign superstar, mix them with our players we have. No need to go and sign all these third-rated players, second-rated players, bring them in like Zappacosta, like Emerson. We have players better than those. We don't need those anymore. Chelsea should only sign the top-rank players because when it comes to anything below, we have them. We don't need any half-baked
what
players.
What you say
anymore.
makes sense. Your logics, I have made those logic before, but the circumstances in which we sign Saul Niguez, you can go back to that specific time. We have no other option but to bring Saul Niguez in because we are panicking. Kante was injured at that time, and we were looking for one midfielder to back all those our midfield to be at least the 4th or the 5th choice, if I remember. None of us know Saul Niguez back then. I know him, but I don't think he's that good. But at that time, it was the only option we had that time, back then when I remember. So what I'm trying to say is, go ahead.
No, I think DJ wanted to.
Oh, sorry, DJ.
No, I was just going to say, like Dennis was just saying just now, when the talk came between Saul Niguez, you guys know on this platform, I've always wanted Tchouaméni at Chelsea. I've been shouting out his name for so long at Chelsea to come. Obviously, we couldn't get him. Instead, obviously, I looked at then the Saul Niguez situation. For you know what, this guy was an excellent player like 2 seasons or 2 years ago for Atletico, and I thought, and obviously we got him. He obviously had a bad injury last season. He's obviously come back off that to us. He's not been getting much game time at Atletico. That's the only reason why they let him go. Because as we know, Atletico Madrid won't let players go. We know this already. They won't let, unless there's something up with them, they will not let a player like him go. Because correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he once the heartbeat and soul of that football club? Sound. So this is the and all of a sudden now they don't want him because of his bad injury that he had. We obviously taken him, and thank God it's a loan move, and that's it.
Yeah, Bobby called it too. I remember Bobby's like, "Yo, man, if Atletico Madrid is letting these guys go, then buyer beware." And it's true. Like I fell for it. I was like, "Listen, as a 4th or 5th option, he can't do that, but he can't be that bad. But like he just looks like he's just completely out of it right now. Like body language, like no confidence on the ball. Like looks like he's a headless chicken running around on the pitch, doesn't know where to be. It's just it's not a good look. It's not a good look.
It was kind of telling when he came on that we stopped playing, didn't we?
Yeah.
In the midfield, we just didn't create anything after all the subs. Because I think Boogeyman also said about Alonso. Alonso was poor when he came on as well. Mm-hmm. So,
what did you guys think of the actual? There looked like a bit of a shape change there with the wingers playing more for width and like the fullbacks coming inside more.
That's it. We had more in the wing backs were more inverted.
Yeah,
and then you had the other two, the tens or whatever. They were playing more out wide. So I think we tried that was it the Southampton game? I think we did something similar.
Yeah, I saw Chilwell making runs inside.
But
more the opposition also allowed it.
But you guys also saw what when Cho's playing on the right position and where he should be playing. You see what kind of a player this kid is. I mean, this guy today, I thought that set up for Kai Havertz's third goal. That run he did make in the part, I thought that was, and then he had a couple of shots on goal as well today.
Yeah, scored that one there when he curled it.
Yeah. So this is really his chance now, isn't it? If we have these injuries now, this is his chance to step up. Maybe you'll have a couple of games, 2 or 3 games, then we'll see. But going on to what Ty has written there, because he mentioned about Broha saying he wants to become the next Drogba. It takes me back to when Bobby's always said this about our window, and Bobby said the window, he didn't rate the window because our side was weakened because we got rid of 2 strikers and only replaced them with 1. So I think this is what Bobby was fearing when he said, like, if we got an injury to the striker positions, then we haven't got players to come and fill in. So do you want to just go on talk about that again, Bobby? Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's quite obvious. I don't know what it is with Chelsea, and I don't want to get onto my opinions again about our beloved Marina or whoever it is that's, buying and selling and wheeling and dealing for Chelsea. But there's a measure of lack of logic and a lack of depth of understanding of what a winning squad needs. This making the squad unnecessarily thin in certain areas. I mean, crikey, look, how can you expect Lukaku to play a full season every single game with the kind of season we've got ahead of us? It's just common sense to have kept Broja back. He'd be playing now. He probably would have played today. So I don't know what that's about. And sadly,
it's not like he's on loan. It's not like he's on nowhere place that he's playing all the time. Like I think he got his first start in the Prem last weekend. Right?
Yeah.
Other than that, he hasn't really played a lot, other than a couple cups, right?
A lot of our loanees don't need to go on loan. And just as Mo MTD said, these Chelsea boys, they will die for this club. You know what I mean? Maybe not literally, but they will give it all. They want to make it. So utilize that energy. It's so much better having a lad from the academy who really wants to play and gives it his all on the pitch than having Saul Niguez. That's an example. Or someone like Broja. Can you imagine now that Lukaku's out and he's got his chance? He's going to give it everything. Crazy. But we are where we are.
Yeah, that's the one that I said at the time that I didn't agree with him going out on loan, because I just thought that he could be a good backup striker. He could have played the Tammy Abraham role from last season, or the Giroud role, and he'd have got games, I think, in like cup games and things like that. He'd have played, and I think he's good enough to be a third choice striker. So I was really disappointed when he went away. So, do you think we'll be able to cope, guys, with what we've got at the moment? And how long do you think we'll be able to cope for?
So sorry to cut in again really quickly, Max. But I've been hearing for a long time that Tuchel has had it in the back of his mind to use Ruben as a striker should anything happen to Lukaku. I don't know if that's where he's going to go, but Ruben himself said, look, He's played everywhere, and he has played as a striker. So don't be surprised if that becomes an option, depending on the length of injury to Lukaku.
Yeah, but with Ruben though, do you think I prefer when he's driving rather than playing with his back to the goal, because I remember was it who was it? Conte's tried him, didn't he, in that role? And yeah, so for me, he's better taking the ball from deep and driving through rather than playing that role. He probably can do a job, but as I said, with him and even how long do you think we can go without these two strikers playing? We're quite fortunate in that we've got a decent run of games coming up where we should, winnable games coming up. But if we go against Juventus, for instance, would it be enough with the personnel we've got at the moment?
Well, it's going to have to be if they're not back.
Yeah, I don't. That idea of having Ruben played up front, I don't like the idea. I don't think it's good for Ruben. He just came back from injury, and let's just make sure that he develop himself in one position and become one of the best at that position, because he has the potential. He has not shown all of them yet. Moving him around will just limit him again, and I don't think it's a good option at this one. I mean, for the good of the team.
I mean, part of his strength is the fact that he's so versatile, right? And when you need, that's just what it is, right? He's played the 6, 8, and shadow striker, like wing, like he's played all those positions.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. We keep talking about promoting our academy. We keep talking about promoting our academy. When they reach that first team, we need to at least make sure they play the position where they can become one of the best, not moving them around as a squad player or whatever that thing is. Because if we keep moving Ruben along, he's going to get injured because of muscle memory. He's going to play a different position like that. You get injured, and then you go. It's another setback for Ruben. I
don't think Thomas Tuchel will move him around by choice. I just think he might be an option if we have no choice. You know what I mean? I don't think it could be an intention. It will just be just like when John Terry went in goal all those years back. You know what I mean?
It's really,
was off. Petr Cech was off. He went in goal. Now, is that his best position? Absolutely not.
But Ruben starting. My point was Ruben starting at the front. That's if we got injury, and then Ruben was asked, "Okay, can you play as a striker when we bring Saul in it, or we bring another midfielder in it?" That during the game it happened, right? But starting the game as Ruben up front, I just think it's just going to be a mistake, especially for Ruben. That we know.
I think it's needs must, right? Like it's not so much what we think we want to see happen, but if we're down to bare bones and we don't have any strikers, I mean, you put them in there if you can. But I hear you. Like it's not ideal. We're not talking about the ideal situation.
Why don't we bring someone from the academy?
I was just going to call it Mo for this, because Mo watches a lot of the academy games. We got that Just Bell, I think his name is, and I don't think he's probably ready.
No, it's not ready. I think I think a lot of people are. Chelsea right now, they're a little bit worried about the academy. What happened this summer? Our academy was raided by Juventus, by all the top teams in the world, from the 16 to the 18 years old. We lose lots of players. Right now, the current crop of academy players we have between the 17, 18, 19 years old, the worst they've been at Chelsea for the last 10 years. Harvey Vale is the standout player right now. But all the other ones, they're not the best. All the best. Like Colwell went on loan, but what I mean, Chelsea have loaned some, but most of the one, I think one of them, Elenga, is at Juventus now. Some of the top academy players we have from that 17 to 19, they've left this season. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's the agent. I don't know whatever, but they've left. So the current crop of academy player we have, I don't think anyone is ready now as a striker to jump and help. Last year we have, but not this year. This year, unless we call somebody on loan. This is why I didn't want us to sell Ike Agbo after we decide for Broja to go on loan. If he stay on that bench, even at the end of the season, even if Ike Agbo play for 5 games for Chelsea this year, would have sold him for 15 million. Because when you play for Chelsea, your value go up. You see what happened with Tammy Abraham, what happened. So just keeping him around, even we didn't use him much, would have we sold him for 5 million, which is great. We could have easily sold him for 10, 15 million if he stayed this whole season. He wanted to stay as well and fight. But, you know, the club, whoever the club decide to sell, I know it's Marina, they sold him. Now we're short, which is true. But this is why sometimes it's better to have these academy players that want to stay. Just keep them. Even if you don't play them every time, just keep them. 2, 3, 5 games a season, nothing wrong with it. It's fine.
I like that comment by Green Turf. I actually tweeted that, actually. I said, when our 2 strikers were out, I said, looks like Marcus Alonso is going to be playing up front. That's quite funny. Yeah, but from what you're saying, Mo, I think because when we sold, is it Muesla, when he left, not sold, when he's kind of left to go to Bayern, and other academy players probably seen how he's succeeded and how well he's doing at Bayern. So that's probably one of the reasons why they say, you know what, if I go elsewhere in Europe, then I may get more opportunities than I will get at Chelsea. Because let's face it, our academy has been so good of late. Somebody the other day put out a team of academy players, and that team could quite easily finish middle half of the Premier League comfortably. So
just one more thing. Sorry about the academy. Chelsea Academy is the only academy in the whole of Europe that train their players to play every system. Barcelona have a single structure. Ajax, they play single way. All these other top teams, they have a single way they play. That's why Chelsea Academy players can go in any team and perform. That's why their reputation is the top right now in the world. That's the reason. Chelsea Academy player, they can play running ball, they can play 3 at the back, they can play 4 at the back, any system. That's people underestimate the academy. But if you watch them from the on the 12 all the way to the under 21, 23, you will see they change system in a game, in-game system, and they can play any system. So when people are talking about signing a player that play for Ajax or Barcelona, they might know only one way, tiki-taka or gegenpressing or whatever, but not the Chelsea players. The Chelsea players, look at Conor Gallagher, look at Mount when he went on loan. Look at even Ampadu right now in Italy. He's killing it. Look at Tammy Abraham. Look at, what's his name, Tamori. You name them. Look at the one, Musiala at Bayern Munich. You name Chelsea Academy player, they're all performing in different systems around Europe. They're the only academy. You bring a Barcelona player in a Chelsea system right now, they will struggle.
And that's what you saw. That's what I was saying about the Ajax players as well the other day, because they can play to a specific system, but then take them out of that environment, and a few of them will struggle. But so Havertz, he would play. Is Pulisic? Does anyone know when he's coming back? Because obviously, this is the right time for him to come back now.
Honestly, it's so the time. Like if there's ever a time, it's now. Like truly.
Yeah.
Because he can actually even play false 9 too, right? Like use him in that role. So yeah, if there's ever a time, he's got to come back now, like, and earn his keep. And the other thing about like Havertz is like everyone's like, oh man, he's a second half player. He comes on the side. We didn't buy him to play a second half player, man. He's 70 million pounds, man. You know, I mean, I need him to start performing now. He scored today, which was great, and I'm happy about that. But like, I don't want to hear this anymore, man. About like he comes on the second half of like the season. Like he needs to start performing now, man, and earn his keep in the squad. Like we need him to eat these minutes for us properly and like score goals, man. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little frustrated after today, man. I'm probably letting that out a bit, but like it's really just coming down to the fact that like so many of the players that we've bought the last couple of years are out of form right now, and we just can't afford to have that right now. We're in a good position in the league, and you know we have some good games that are, you know, we can get maximum points from them. If we don't get the squad really taking over right now,
Dennis, you made a good point earlier though when you said, because obviously when I saw the pre-match interview from press conference, from Tuchel, the way that he was talking about Lukaku, I didn't think he was going to play today because he said he was mentally and physically tired. So I thought if it was any game to rest in, it would have been this game because it was a quote unquote easier game on paper, a game where a Havertz could quite comfortably have come in and done a job, and we could still win the game with him in the side. Okay, it wasn't a muscular injury or something else, but it was more of an impact injury. But my point is that should he have really been playing in the first place with the comments that Tuchel had made?
No, I was obviously, you know how I feel, but like even beyond that, like if you're gonna give, I know what he was thinking. He's probably just gonna give him a few minutes to get him up and running again, and then before the weekend, just to give him some more confidence because obviously he's lacking a little bit the last 4 or 5 matches. But at the same time, man, you look at Havertz. When was the last time Havertz has started a match? I can't even remember the last time, to be honest, right? And
yeah, exactly.
He went away on international break and scored as well, right? So perfect time to give him some more minutes, give him a chance to like find his feet within the squad again. And like it shocked me to see that like Lukaku started it again, and it's a gamble that did not pay off, obviously.
But do we need any strikers now with our defenders scoring all these goals?
Do you know? You guys are talking about strikers. I mean, MDT probably would know this, and you probably would know this as well, Max. We do have a striker in our academy, and I know we got him a couple of seasons ago by the name of Brian Fibiema, the Norwegian striker.
Yeah.
Isn't he a 10? Isn't he more of a 10?
No, he can play. I think he's more. I think he is a striker. But I think he can play both positions. From what I understand, we got him in as a striker. I mean, there's another one. There's a few of them, but he was the one that I was really looking out for because I seen him when he was playing. He was getting some goals for us for quite when he first came to the academy. I don't know what his situation is now, but he could be another one that we could look into bringing there if we are, if we need to get that striker to come and do some goals for us. I mean, he could be one worth that we could actually look at bringing in. And from what I understand and what I've seen of him, I've seen the academy. He looks a good prospect. He looks really, really, really good. And there's another kid called Charlie Webster. There was a lot of talk about him as well. I don't know what's gone on about him as well. I don't think he's a striker, but there's a lot of talk about him. A midfielder.
Yeah.
There's quite a few of them there, but still, we're talking about the striker position here. But this kid Fibiema, the Norwegian boy, I think maybe give him a chance. Maybe I don't know what you guys think of that.
Yeah, and apparently I didn't see the game, but Tyrone saying he actually scored today in the youth match against Malmo. Yeah. Okay, Mo, off you go.
Yeah, with Brian Fabiano, when he came in, he looked very good. But I think last year he struggled with a little bit of niggling, and this season he hasn't started well. But he scored today. That's why I don't think he's ready because of there are a few games this season he struggled a little bit because he's struggling to recover from the injury of last year, the niggling. And with Charlie Webster, this is the kid I used to have very, very high hope for when he was 16, whatever. All of a sudden, from that 17 to now, he become very individualistic. He doesn't play as a team player. If you watch the academy, whatever, he's changed. He wants everything. He's everywhere. He plays like Bruno Fernandes now, and that's not the way Chelsea youth team plays today. Do you know we were 2-0? We were losing, and when we scored when they took him off, that's when we recover to beat Malmo, because he wants all the ball. Every time a player has the ball, he wants the ball. He doesn't run. If you don't give him the ball, it's like he wants to be the general of everything. All of a sudden, this kid was so wonderful when he was up to 16 or whatever. But I don't know what happened to him. Now,
he was wanted by Barcelona and all those teams. It probably got to his head.
Borussia Dortmund as well.
There's a few players as well. The 3 teams are after him.
Even today, if you watch the game, the first 63 minutes, they took him up around 60 something, and that's when we scored all 3 goals after he left. Because of the team started playing as a team, not through one individual, not through whatever, and that's the thing. He's not like he's a bad player, but he's not a team player anymore. He's not the same. Sorry.
There was a kid today, I think he was wearing the number 12. Snow Cup or Snow Soup or something.
Suso Bell, the one that we just mentioned him earlier. Yeah.
But I mean, the kid is so elegant with the ball, and he'll look like Havertz pretty much. Like I was just watching him today. He's really talented, also.
Yeah, he
I
scored
mean,
4 goals in his
he came
first
in.
game.
He didn't start it. So
He's been scoring quite a few goals. Yeah, the club have got high hopes for him, but as I said with Mo, I think it was a bit too early to put him in at this time.
Guys, I gotta
Harvey,
jump off, but I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, cheers. Cheers. Yeah,
Take care, mate.
cheers then.
See you, mate. Take
I think
care.
we'll be on
Take it easy.
the Blue Lounge. Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, for me, Harvey Vale, I think he might come in the first team and do a good job. He's strong and he's fast. He's
a defender,
like no. He's an attacking midfielder. Just like this.
Harvey Vale.
Just like the Conor Gallagher way of playing. He's the similar to Conor Gallagher, not on Conor Gallagher's level, but he's very good. He's strong. He attacks the box very well. He can shoot with both feet. For me, I think he's the next big one from the academy.
What about Tariq Uwakwa? How about Tariq Uwakwa?
Yeah.
He's another one, isn't he?
Yeah, but he was when he came back from loan, I think he's struggling with niggling. That's the problem. Most of them a lot of the players are struggling with, because this COVID thing I was talking about, they didn't have a proper preseason. A lot of these kids are struggling with muscle injury because they were playing, not having a proper normal thing, because things have changed. So there are a lot of young players that, like Tariq Uwakwa and another one, quite a few of them are struggling with injury, muscle injuries.
Yeah, but so during the COVID, I watched Livermore interview where he said he used the COVID to really train his muscles and do a lot of exercises and just trying to get back to the season in the strongest form. So I don't know who advised him to do that, or why the other kid cannot follow the same thing. Like I don't understand.
You know, like some people like Livramento, he lives at home, and you know what happened when Chelsea sent some of the players like Tariq Uwakwa on loan? They were living in a flat. You remember there was a time we have 3 months lockdown. You're not allowed to leave your house. You're not allowed to train outside. You remember Mount got into trouble for that. You remember?
Yeah.
Okay. There was a time people that don't live in houses, that live in flats, they struggle to exercise. Some of our loan players were living in flats in their loan places. So they didn't train for 3 months other than on a bike in your apartment. So a lot of muscle injury after the season started. A lot of players had injury because of that.
Yeah. Right. Look at this one by MCIG. Obviously, we heard about the Haaland situation today, and sorry, I think Thomas Tuchel was having an interview, and they were asking about Haaland, and they said, obviously, we did look at him last season, but it was made clear that we won't be signing him. But then he did say that it could. I think that the question was asked, can he play with Lukaku? And Thomas Tuchel said, yeah, I think he can play. And then I think that there's a lot of reports today about Chelsea being linked with this guy again. What do you think of that?
Where do we go? This one, Haaland. I listen. I don't know. I heard today. I mean, what I understand, it says we're still in contact with this camp. From what I understand, for some stories coming out saying we're still in contact with the player. How much of that is true, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, listen. Can they play together? I really don't know is the answer to that one. If Thomas Tuchel thinks they can do, then he knows better. Maybe they can. But again, you know, we talk about the same old thing, don't we? Everyone, it's always about his agent and his agent making this deal ever happen for us, if it will ever happen. I mean, what's he going to go for next for the summer? Is it what, 65, 70 million? He'll be going for, is it right? 67 million. I mean, yeah, this will be. I really don't know. I mean, I would love him to. We can get him. I would not complain. Let's put it that way. I said he was always my first choice from before. But obviously, we got Lukaku, which I'm happy about. But if he can come in, I won't complain. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Any objections to Haaland?
Me too. I think I feel exactly the same. You know, if we can get him, I won't complain either. It probably mean we might lose the likes of Werner if he is insisting on him playing with Lukaku, or we might end up losing Lukaku himself, depending on how efficient he proves to be this season. Yeah, I know he signed a 5-year contract, but stranger things have happened. I don't know. I doubt the story anyway. I think they're just trying to
there'll
use
be.
it as a negotiating tool.
That's it. He's been linked with about 5 people in the last couple of weeks. First of all, I heard Man City. Then the day after, I heard PSG, Real Madrid, and who else? I think there's another link. So yeah. Bayern Munich as well. They're the other ones who were linked to him.
But we're talking about it because Tuchel has mentioned it, right? It's not just for Mino Raiola. It's Tuchel that mentioned it in his interview.
He was asked a specific question, so obviously he's going to give the stock answer, isn't he? He's not going to say no, I don't want him. Anyone's going to want Haaland in their side, but
yeah, exactly. So I think we fans can also play our role to get, because if we keep talking about it and putting pressure on them, they may put some bid and trying to get him. Because I think Haaland for 67 or 70 million is a good buy, and if we get him in the team, guarantee, like Bobby said, one of our striker will be long gone. I think Lukaku will be the one leaving, because I don't think Lukaku can handle competing or fighting for one position with someone else. That's the way I feel about Lukaku. I don't think he can handle it. So we should get Haaland for sure. I want him, but I think in a year and two, Lukaku will be long gone. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah. I want to bring Ty in. Welcome to the stream, Ty. Nice to have you on.
Yeah.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right. Just listening to what everybody has been saying, and how spot on everybody has been about everything they've said. But I mean, with Holland, I obviously I think Bobby just said that it's probably the media trying to try to get more attention, because obviously, like you said, you have a lot of teams being linked with him. First was Man City and so on. So obviously, we chose to be linked last season. Obviously, these things are going to always pop back up, because that's what the media does. And with the transfer window closing, they're going to need something to do. And especially with most journalists being more of a transfer guru, they're going to need some attention, and they're going to need something to speak about. So obviously, they're going to take any story they can to twist and turn it. So even I'm not surprised that this popped up, especially with Thomas Tuchel being asked a specific question. Obviously, they're going to interpret it in a way to say he's saying that Lukaku and Holland is his dream team.
Yeah. Did you see Mo's video earlier?
No, I didn't see it. Well, I saw the notification, but I didn't get to watch it.
Oh, right. Okay. Because what he's saying is, are we playing the two up front? Because Haaland will see that, okay, Chelsea can play with a two up front formation, and if I do come, I'll be playing with Lukaku rather than waiting in place or being on the bench while Lukaku's the main man. And say to Lukaku as well, look, you're here to play with him, he's not here to replace you. So do you think he's trying out that two-man formation with that in mind as well? What do you think, guys?
I think if there's any truth in it, it's a little bit of a warning to Lukaku, and a justified warning, because this is a top club. You've got to be. There's a guy called Johnny that goes on GNA TV, and he uses this term that I like so much. You've got to have the minerals.
Yeah, Johnny Blue. Johnny Blue. Johnny Blue.
Yeah. And if you don't have the minerals, you're done. Now, there is a perpetual state of competition at a club like Chelsea. The best come in, and you've got to prove why they shouldn't be playing ahead of you. Now, it's good that, if Haaland comes in, and it's a test for Haaland as well, if he comes in and he can play with Lukaku, excellent. But if he comes in and he's mobile and he's banging in the goals left, right and centre, he will definitely overtake Lukaku, for sure. I'm not bothered by that. You know, I am not bothered by that whatsoever. I'm not. You know, we like Lukaku, but you know, I'm not here to please Lukaku. I want Chelsea to succeed more than Lukaku. So
yeah, that's right. And if you want to be the best of the best, sometimes look at PSG, right? PSG already had Mbappe on their books. They already had Neymar, but when Messi was available, they went for him as well. So if you want to be the best of the best, you can't just say, okay, we've got this guy, let's rest on our laurels. You've got to say that if he's available, because if this guy is gettable, then we get him at all
you've
costs.
got to get him.
Yeah. Can I put a hole in your way of thinking? The thing is, my thought when it comes to that is, imagine the fact that this new generation, they always said you have to give the kid more game time, or he has to play more game to become the best, or to make that position his. It's not the kid has to earn it. It's not, that logic disappear way back. Because, for example, if I give you the why is Mbappe leaving PSG? Probably because or why Neymar left Barcelona is because he wants to be the guy. If you put Lukaku and
Neymar left Barcelona because of money.
What's that?
And Neymar left Barcelona because of money. And Mbappe is
I can debate that because he has an interview where he said the project of PSG, and he's going to be the main man in PSG and all those things. That's the reason why he moved to PSG. I mean, he's never going to tell me that it's because of the money. We all know it's money, but he said he just liked the project, and in PSG he's going to be the main man, and that's the reason why he decided to leave.
But him and Messi are good friends there, and he was the one who wanted Messi to come and join him.
True, and now Mbappe is bouncing. So the fact is, I don't see Lukaku and Lukaku and Haaland being at Chelsea and not playing together. If Tuchel doesn't make them work, Tuchel will lose his job. If Haaland sitting on the bench, Mino Raiola is going to go crazy. If Lukaku is sitting on the bench and Haaland banging goals, then we have a problem with Lukaku also. Lukaku would like to leave and all those things. So it might create those problems that no coach want to handle, that's what I want to be facing. So I don't think we will go for Haaland, but if we decide to go for him, it will be the end of Lukaku. Because they're not meant, I'm not going to mention, but I don't think they're strong enough to really handle competing for the same position. This young generation, they're just not there. I don't think we will ever have anymore. That's how I think, anyways.
Yeah, but that's but I don't think he's coming anyway. I hope he does, but I just can't see it, to be honest. So, do you want to say something, Mo?
Yeah. For me, with this link, because Tuchel said, we move on or whatever, but I would love it to happen and things like that. Or I can't remember exact quote, but I believe that we have to be careful, because most of these journalists and this whatever is just to destabilize players. They're very good at it. We have Werner that complained a few weeks ago. Now they're playing, and Lukaku is just struggling with fatigue or whatever, and Kai Havertz is not playing. We have, all of a sudden these things are being pushed over there. People are talking about it. If they come, they're going to play together, because I saw Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez playing together. That's not a problem. I don't believe it. But then it will create problem for Kai and Werner. And where are you going to play Mount? All of a sudden. So for me, I believe we have to be careful with this kind of reporting from the media, because I believe, because we are top of the league, things are going slowly under the radar. As soon as Pulisic come back fully fit and he's not playing all the time, they're gonna bring another story on ESPN about him being unhappy. So this is the best time to just destabilize Chelsea. It's very, very easy to do it, to complain. Look at Manchester City. All the players that are sitting on the bench, nobody is saying anything. Look at Manchester United. Okay, look at it in Tottenham.
I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
So we have to be careful with these stories.
Sterling stories, because he's sitting also their story in the press when it comes to
Oh
Sterling.
yeah, Sterling. Yeah, they mentioned about
So
Sterling.
I don't think it's always just
Yeah,
Chelsea.
yeah, but no, but you don't hear in Spain they're talking about is it Torres? Okay, you don't hear Brazilian press talking about Jesus. Okay, you don't. Even the Bernardo Silva, when he wanted to leave, he wasn't happy. The Portuguese press didn't go and hound on it. Okay, some people come out, even like superstars like Rui Costa said, you know what, if he stay and fight for his position, I think he let him. You know, you don't hear that much on other teams. But Chelsea, it's like the player should go. If a player don't play 3 games, they should leave automatically.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, I don't hear too much, but if you follow ESPN, you will notice that Bernardo Silva situation. Even the old Chelsea guy, the guy that is a pundit on the.
Burley, yeah.
What his name again? Yeah,
Yeah,
Burnley.
Craig Burley.
Craig Burley.
He said a guy like Bernardo Silva, if Pep is not using him, there's going to be a lot of club coming and knocking at the door. So that's normal that the guy wants the game time, and if he doesn't have game time, he can just go to Real Madrid, PSG, and all those things. So they were talk. Maybe as a Chelsea fan, we don't pay attention to those things, but when I'm listening to them, they pretty much go after all the big teams like Manchester City and Chelsea. And even Manchester United lately, they're really going after Solskjaer and all the way he's using his team and all those things.
They're going after Solskjaer.
Yeah, but as Chelsea
they're going
fan,
after.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, they're going after Solskjaer. But you see, they're not telling Jadon Sancho to leave Manchester United because he's not playing. They're going after certain
Donny
things.
Van
That's
de
what I
Beek.
mean. Van der Beek.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not saying specifically the player should leave because of game time. But when it comes to Chelsea, that's what they're insinuating. Oh, if this player comes, this one is leaving. If this one comes, why can't they play together? Why can't they rotate?
I think most definitely, I mean, it's as clear as day that the Chelsea issue is exponentially, more than any other club. Definitely, even the Raheem Sterling story, it's not unsubstantiated. He sat on the bench for Man City for 3 seasons before they've started talking about it.
But he actually gave an interview, didn't he, to the Financial Times? So it's not just rumor mill; it's him talking.
It's him.
That one, yeah.
But with Chelsea, a player just has to miss a game, and they're on it like a rash, and they bring it out at times where it can destabilize the team. They do it to destabilize the team. So Mo's right. We need to be careful. I personally doubt this Haaland story. I really do. Yeah. But it's so strange that now it's coming out. It's just it's funny almost. It's quite laughable because you can see what they're trying to do.
In Mo stream he said there's another ESPN pundit for the same he is from the same country as Haaland.
Craig
Steve Nicol. No, Fjortov.
Fjortov. Oh, sorry.
He said that Fjortov also mentioned something about Chelsea being interested. And then I tried to find that quote on YouTube. I couldn't find it. So anyone here?
I think I saw a tweet from Fjortov, and it was just quoting the story which was out there today, basically. So he didn't really say anything different from what was out in the news.
I think he has more insight when it comes to Haaland than a lot of journalists anyway. So because he's really friendly with the entire family, so that's why after each game, Dortmund game, he always say, "I went and interview Haaland. Me and Haaland talk." So I feel like any news coming from him should be taken more serious than any like Fabrizio Romano and all those guys. Right?
Yeah, I'm trying to find what he tweeted earlier, but he tweeted something. I'll try and find it. I can add it in there. Where is it?
Yeah, but 65. Yeah, I'll go. Chelsea should try. Let's try it. Like 65 million for Haaland. In 2 years, we can sell them for 200,000. 200 million.
Why does it have to be selling him though?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, in case Fabioso, whatever his name is, his agent.
Oh, it's Miniriola. Yeah,
So
you'll want to
I-
move him on in a couple of years' time, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
start
that's
acting up.
smart.
You still can get 200 million pounds out of that. So
Yeah.
it should be a good deal for any big team in Europe to
Yeah.
get happy for 67.
Yeah, I've found a quote now, and basically from Jan Arpjortov, this is what he tweeted like 13 hours ago. All he said was, Tuchel said in an interview with Sports Bild that he would not say no to Lukaku and Haaland playing together at Chelsea. See part of the interview on my timeline. So there, so you were just quoting the Bild story. That's all. Yeah, nothing more. Yeah, Bobby, were you going to say something?
Isn't it funny how all of a sudden the Norwich game, which should have been quite straightforward, has now become a bit of a challenge?
Yeah.
We have enough to deal with it, but we've got to be very careful. We've got to be very careful.
Yeah, but according to Boogeyman, it won't be a challenge because we were playing with 10 men anyway. So Lukaku was.
Someone tell me why it will be a challenge. I just don't see it.
Of course, it will be a challenge.
Yeah,
I will tell you.
It's going to be a challenge.
No, I will tell you, Boogeyman. I will tell you. When Mourinho came back, the reason why we lost the league, it was Norwich. Okay, we lost the league to Manchester City and Liverpool by 3 points. So we had a good team. Everybody was there. Mata, Hazard, Oscar, you name them. Norwich was relegated that season. They took points off us. So if you ever think, exactly, Boogeyman, West Brom beat us 5-2 last season. They were relegated.
Exactly.
I was about to say that.
Okay.
Exactly.
And the funny thing is that their striker was out of form as well. So people are talking about K being out of form, and that doesn't matter because remember, it's a lot.
Juventus were out of form this season, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Last season was it Valencia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, just one red card or one mistake by someone, we're in trouble. So don't ever underestimate. I'm not too worried about what I'm worried about is the running. If we play 3, 4, 5 games without Werner and Lukaku, these players we have will not be able to go till December. That's what I'm worried about because Pulisic is off, Lukaku and Werner not there. So that means we only have, I think, 2 or 3 players for 2 positions. So how are we going to manage that? That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about 2, 3 games. I'm worried about the longer period because they cannot play 2, 3.
But the question is Norwich game. The Norwich game specifically, Lukaku has played game and it's not like he's been ripping up trees. Werner, I think we have enough quality to offer exactly what Lukaku and Werner have offered us. Like Mount is there now, full fit.
He hasn't scored a goal all season, though. Mount.
Yeah, other than a penalty in a penalty shootout, he hasn't scored.
What's that? I didn't understand. Tai, what do you say?
I said, yeah, Mount hasn't scored a goal all season yet.
Yeah,
or has not scored goal all season. Is that what you said?
Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah.
Havertz came in today. He scored a goal. So I feel like.
But you know, but
I still feel like
the logic
is
is
enough.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Let TJ.
No. I was just listening to what Boogeyman was saying. It's what he's to some degree. He's true what he's saying to some degree. But it's just interesting. We're just talking about football, about our strikers. Yeah, it looks like the Express Sport have already gone into their little things. Lukaku and Werner injury blows could force Tuchel into a transfer rethink. Has now come up on there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Already begun.
Yeah. That's right. Green Turf makes a good point. Whenever a team is out of form, whenever a striker is out of form, whenever it comes to Chelsea, it's all of a sudden something happens. I've seen it. Who was it once? We were top and the team were bottom, and we lost to them. I can't remember who it was. A couple of years, 3 or 4 years ago. So obviously on paper we should be beating Norwich, but football's not played on paper. In the Premier League, a top team can beat the bottom team no matter what, regardless of form. So we need to approach every single game you know, like it's
Yeah,
you know, with the
100%,
right mentality,
100%.
and also the fact that Norwich are going to play with a lower block, I think, against us. Because remember they drew their last game 0-0, didn't they? So he's tried to. I think he's got away from playing that expansive football that he tried at the beginning of the season, and they're getting picked apart. So he's gone back to basics with the low block, and we've seen how we struggled with that low block, especially last season where we created a lot of chances with Kai Havertz as a false number 9, and we weren't putting our conversion was the worst, and was it one of the worst in the league? Our goal conversion. So
Probably, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Bobby, so
Always
that's
expressed by ESPN and all those stations and channels.
Exactly. So the thing is, you know, Bournemouth. Someone's quoting Bournemouth. Last week, we took 1 point of Bournemouth, 1 point, and then didn't West Ham the season before as well?
West Ham, thank you. Yeah,
West Ham got the double over us, and that wasn't the West Ham what we're seeing now. This is the West Ham we were flirting with relegation, and they got the double over us. We got beat 1-0 in that game where we didn't even have a shot on target. So we really got to be careful.
Under Frank Lampard, right?
Yeah, under Frank Lampard.
Don't get started on that. Don't get started on that.
I think it's unfair to think that we won't miss Lukaku. Yes, he's a bit clumsy on the ball. Yes, his first touch could be better. But Lukaku does bring something to the table. You know, the opposition defenders are quite consumed with keeping him at bay. And with Werner running around as well. Yeah, with Werner, it's a problem to them. So it's a big miss. It's a big miss for us. Can we handle it? I think we can, but you know, can we consistently handle it without him? It could be a problem because there's a reason we got him in the first place. We need a striker.
Yeah, and the thing is, people don't really think about it, but on paper, we have a lot of attackers, but we don't, because if you think about it, Christian Pulisic is injury prone, so we don't really have much. So it looks like we have a lot, but it isn't. So this happening, it just shows how little flexibility the team has.
Absolutely, and that was why I said that the rumours. I mean, I didn't come out with it, but there had been talk that Tuchel will consider, if need be, using Ruben as a striker. You know, we're not saying that's going to be his permanent position or he'll be forced to play there game in, game out, but we're thin. We're very thin. You can see what can happen in a game. And, you know, if Havertz goes out with any injury, God forbid, what do we do then? So,
do we not have an option to bring Broha back, though, from Southampton? I'm sure we got that in his clause.
What the deal was, but then again, we're waiting till January.
Yeah, January. That's true. Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, very true.
Can I ask a question? Do you see anything wrong with having James playing as a winger?
Reece James.
Reece James.
It's a winger.
Yes, I do.
This is so funny. We had
Reece James. I mentioned this a couple of seasons ago. I was one of the first people to say this because someone else. I think I was having this argument with Mo, actually, not you, the other Mo from. So he said. I think a couple of people mentioned him playing as a winger. I said this guy does not beat his man. I did some stats. I went on to whoscored.com. He had the least dribbles. He only had, I think he went dribbled past a player only up to that point when I was making that argument. He dribbled past a player only on one occasion. Okay. Can he do it? I think he can. But I don't, for some reason, he does not. He's not one of these players who drives with the ball, commits players, and goes down to the bar. If you look at the way he plays, he always takes the ball, then checks back, and then plays the safe ball. You know, I've seen him do it on a couple of occasions, and I say, why don't you do this more often? Because he's capable of doing it. But I just think it's his mindset that doesn't let him do that. You know, if you look at Livramento at Southampton, and even if you look at Tariq Lamptey, those two. Their first thing is to take the ball, let's bomb forward, commit players, and do something. That's what you see with them, but you don't see that enough with Reece James. So I don't think do well in the win
Yeah,
role.
that's actually funny though, because that video actually came in my recommendation again today, and you speaking about it because Reece James was the talk of the town, so obviously it came back up. But yeah, that's true.
What
And
the one that I made?
yeah, the
Oh,
video
really?
you made.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said with Tino, you saying that reminds me of the Southampton game and how he drew that penalty from Chilwell, because that's exactly what he kept doing and putting that pressure on Chilwell, and especially with Chilwell coming back right after not playing for so long. It made him very vulnerable to make mistakes, and obviously that's something. And with Tariq Lamptey, those two players I really wish we didn't lose, but careers and everything, it's always gonna come down to that. So unfortunately,
Yeah, they'll prove something.
this is buyback clause. At least there's a buyback clause for Tino though.
What I
Yeah,
want
I
to know
think
is if we
well
can
done. I
buy
think
back.
Mo put his hand up. Mo, then you, Bobby. I think Mo had his hand up, so you want to say something?
Yeah, I think with Reece, you're right, Bobby. I watched that video as well about what you said. Sorry, Max. What you said. The thing is with him, he can do it. I just feel like there's some players, they like to play safe. All of a sudden, since he break into the first team, he likes to play safe. That's the disappointing thing with him, Cho, and Mount. They don't take risk anymore, and that's what they were good at. All of a sudden, they came back to Chelsea. They're not taking risk. I don't understand. Like Lamptey don't care. He will take risk. Livramento will take risk. But they like to play safe. And sometimes when you play in those positions, you should be reckless. You lose the ball. Maybe you lose it 5 out of 10 times. But if 5 times you get it, you cause havoc. For me, I don't understand why all of a sudden they're playing safe.
Yeah, but
it's like do
you think that when they lose the ball go so fast back into their camp that they have to run, or if they don't run, it can be a chance for the opposite team to score goals, and it might reflect, the coach may tell them, you the one that did something wrong. So when you reach that level, you're so scared of making those mistakes that the coach should tell you, keep playing the way you used to.
Great point. Yeah, that is a good point.
The way you used to play. Keep playing. Don't worry about me. Just do whatever you want to do on the field. But if the coach does not give you that liberty, there's no way you're going to play free mind. You have to always try to be safe. Unless you're 100% sure you can beat this guy, you're not trying it. And that's why
I agree with that.
That's why I think Cho also is not showing too much. We keep screaming at the kid, but I don't think he will show much unless Cho move to Southampton, like Liverpool. Then he will.
Yeah, you remember?
I'm a big man.
Boogeyman, you correct there. You remember Ruben Loftus-Cheek when he break into the Chelsea team? What Mourinho used to tell him each time he lose the ball, he was screaming at him, and he took him off. Remember?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that? Ruben Mourinho accused him of being lazy, and some of the fans were on his back because he used to try risky things. So all of a sudden, he come into his shell again, like to pass safe and whatever. It was what's his name, Sarri, that gave him the freedom again to play. You're right, Boogie. You're right.
And if you look at what happened with Callum Hudson-Odoi that time when he got subbed as a sub, and that's because he had lost the ball a couple of times and didn't chase back. So comparing that with Frank, when Lamptey made it, he brought him on against Arsenal, and he just said to him, "Look, just go for it." And he said, even if you lose the ball, just go. So he gave him that license to just attack that wing. So when
Lamptey came in against Arsenal.
It was against Arsenal. Yeah,
he started.
No, did he start or? No, he came off the bench. Remember, we were 1-0 down.
We were winning, right?
No, we were 1-0 down, and we scored. We beat them 2-1 that time.
It was
Tammy Abraham and Jorginho scored the goals. Yeah, and he came off, and I thought, who is this guy? Because he came on, showed no fear whatsoever, and it was really good. First of all, big up Mo. I hope you enjoyed the game. He's back. Let's say he's back. So hopefully had a good game. Yeah. So Bobby, sorry, you want to say something? Can you remember what it was?
It was about Dejan Sterling. I don't know what the clauses are in his loan, but we really need that kid, especially on the right wing back position. Aspie had to be taken off today. You could see he really needed a rest. And Reece, I don't know how recovered he is from his injury. So there's a little bit of an imbalance there, a bit of a problem there. As indeed there is in the left wing back position, because as far as I'm concerned, we've only got Chilwell. I hope we can hang on till January, because either we get Sterling back, the only sort of foreign player I think is worthy of an investment because of that deficiency has got to be Jules Koundé. I think I've seen enough of him playing for France to know that he can do a very good job for us there.
Yeah, right. Before we carry on, I just want to say, because the Blue Lounge is doing the shirt giveaway tomorrow, because he promised after 10 wins we'll be having a shirt giveaway. So everyone is watching this stream. If you go onto the Blue Lounge stream tomorrow, the one that I'm on regularly, then he's giving away 2 shirts. So you could be the one who wins it. So just tune in to his channel tomorrow and find out if you're the winner. So, 4 goals you've witnessed. So great game for him to go to, and I'm looking forward to the vlog as well.
He's a good luck. He's a good luck. He's a good luck. He's a good luck.
Yeah, he needs to go more often if we're going to be winning.
Yeah. Next time we'll be winning 6-0 and 7-0.
A good atmosphere. Disappointed. Yeah, that's where we were all disappointed to see that the Lukaku Werner injury. So the last point I want to discuss today. This isn't going to be as long as the most streams, the Blue Lounge streams, because I've got work tomorrow. So I want to talk about a guy who we've never ever witnessed at Stamford Bridge in our lives. We saw today a Christensen goal.
Oh, mate, what a goal it was as well.
So let's talk about Christensen. Because we've waited so long for him to. I saw that goal. I remember that goal he scored in the Euros.
Yeah,
that 35-yard blast.
And
I was thinking, where did that come from? Why does he do more of that for us?
He has it, but he doesn't do it. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was a striker's instinct as well. Okay, the ball went into the ground, but it's a good run, good finish, and he did the assist. Great cross from Thiago Silva.
Yeah.
So I said our defenders are running the show. So let's talk about Christensen for a few minutes. What do you think about his performance? His performances overall, actually, because I think this season we've seen a more mature Christensen. Because I put my hand up, and a couple of seasons ago I said about Christensen, I thought he was weak mentally, and I thought he was a good player. Don't get me wrong. I thought he had a lot in him, but I just thought that he just didn't have that mentality to succeed at Chelsea, and he was easy to brush off the ball. But I think a season working with Thiago Silva, obviously Rudiger as well, and others, he's just come on leaps and bounds now. And what impressed me as well was that where he led, obviously had 2 youngsters either side of him on Saturday. And he was the leader of the pack there. So I think that's another reason why, and I know Mo was going to agree with me on this one, why it's always good to be patient with our youth players, because he's somebody who we could have probably said, let's get rid of him because he's not doing it. But with perseverance, he's come on and he's proved all of us, me included, wrong.
I think the main reason also, we need to give Frank Lampard a lot of props, because Frank Lampard, when he came in, he gave all our youth some sort of legitimacy, like just make them believe in themselves that he is the coach that is willing to take all the heat for them. And so I think from that point, the reason why I'm saying all that is, at one point, I was thinking we need to buy a center back, and Christensen should be long gone. And especially when we play against the John Terry team back then, when Christensen was, I think he had a 50-50 with a striker, and he just stay on the floor, and that ball end up in our net. I was so mad. I was like, even John Terry at the end of the game was saying something like, Christensen should not be sitting on the floor when he doesn't know where the ball is. You need to make sure the ball is out before you sit on the floor. That's the first ever definition of a defender. You get injured or no, you need to still run and keep the ball away. So, and then from that point, I was done with Christensen. But then after that, when Lampard came in, and then Lampard kept pushing him in, and I was playing like, Lampard is more like academy priority. And I didn't like it too much also because for me, we have Rudiger, we have Zuma, we have physical people. Why don't you just push them in and keeping Christensen and even those ball in the air? Christensen was not good at them at all. He gets scared and people just, and out of EPL, the definition of a striker at EPL is they're really physical in the air. And Christensen gets beat up all the time. But credit to Thiago. Thiago showed Christensen you don't have to be always physical, and you just have to be smart and just two-step front of every decision around you, and then you can show your quality. That exactly, he's just a copy of Thiago, but Thiago is way too good and matured. So I'm pretty sure Christensen may reach Thiago level one day. I mean, if we give him a chance, he's just looking like really solid, especially at the Champions League final. What he did against Sterling and against who was that? I think that's when I decided. I think Christensen is one of our best defenders. He's going to be one of our best at that point. Anyway.
Yeah, I also gave up on Christensen. You know, the English Premier League is not a place for weak footballers. And if you're a defender, you've got to be tougher than most. And I was always horrified, as you know, everybody else, how easily he was pushed off the ball. He just looked weak. You know, he just looked like he couldn't cope with the physicality. I know he must have spent some time in the gym because there's some strength in him now. But without any shadow of a doubt, yes, praise has to be given to Lampard for, you know, giving him the opportunity, even though I don't think he really took it well. But the real evolution of Christensen came because of Thiago Silva. And this is testimony to the fact that, you know, sending players away from a club like Chelsea and denying them the opportunity to develop with the best around them is not always the best option. You know, I say that with someone like Billy Gilmore in mind. I just think it's not a good idea. Look at the players in midfield that Billy Gilmore would flourish under and was flourishing. You know, Norwich have dumped him because they're in a scrap and they're looking for physical players to scrap them out of their position. And Christensen, boy, what a player we have now. And you're right, he's made in the mold of Thiago. He's taken up from Thiago. He copies Thiago. He's you know, you can tell he's been groomed by a master defender. A player that also, you know, reminds me of, remember John Terry and what he had around him? Desai, Leboeuf. I know a lot of Chelsea fans didn't like Leboeuf because he lacked some physicality, but Leboeuf was a very good
loved
defender.
him. I loved Leboeuf.
Yeah, Leboeuf.
Frank Leboeuf. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Libero.
Yeah,
I don't know if
what
that
a player.
libero is a word in English, but
Yeah, and you see those telegraph passes?
60-yard passes.
Yeah,
mate, I remember
Terry
them.
started doing that because he played with Leboeuf. And all the positioning and the heading, and that was Desai. So, you know, you gain a lot by playing around the best. You really do. And the aggression now you see in Christensen, you know, he sees. If you're a defender and you're playing with a bloke like Rudiger, you're not going to, you see how he is. Rudiger never steps away from a battle. Never. That's who you need.
Yeah. Did you see that penalty for the last goal? That was all Rudiger, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hilarious the way he reacted too. You know, and like his tongue
Did you see the smile on his face?
His tongue, the smile.
Yeah. I just love that shithousery. I missed that. We didn't. That's the problem that I was thinking about with all our, you know, the last couple of seasons, Conte's last season. Sorry, we're too nice, and when we started to be liked by the press, I started to get worried.
Yeah,
I started.
I remember you saying that.
Seriously.
Yeah,
I started to get worried because they were for okay. Chelsea have nothing to worry about now, so we can be nice to them. But it's just that when the press are horrible to us, then I don't mind because that means we're doing something right on the pitch,
so true.
and they're trying to dismantle us.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's. I know Mo wanted to say something about Christensen being a youth advocate, and then I'll let DJ Sev and Ty say something as well.
Yeah, with Christensen, I'm very, very happy for him because I wanted him to stay, but because of the way he was going, a lot of Chelsea fans used to be on his back, and I used to sit, because I love the youth team. I used to get angry, like, why are they not giving him a chance? Well, I understand he made few mistakes and whatever, but I believe that it was too much managerial changing as well, and that didn't help the kids, that young kid. It didn't help him at all. But I'm happy for him. He's just now I'm just seeing a little bit of today. The way he finished, he reminds me of Ricardo Carvalho. He used to be very deadly in the box. Yeah, and
What a player! What a player! Ricky Carvalho.
Ricardo Carvalho, and also even Rudiger today when he was running in the box. That's all I was thinking. I said, "That's Ricky Carvalho. That's not." And one thing I want to tell you guys today is out of topic. Do you guys remember when I said about injuries? Look at Van Dijk coming back from the injury. You see how he's struggling?
He's not. Do you see yesterday?
Will take him. Yeah, that's the same injury Rudiger had when he came back Lampard season. Chelsea fans still have that in their memory. Look at Van Dijk. He's struggling to turn. He's struggling well. He's not a bad player, but he will need few months, up to like 6 to 7 months to get back to Van Dijk's stage. But look at him, he can't turn.
That second Griezmann goal, normally he'll be in a better position for that. And he was left flat-footed.
He doesn't trust his knee. He doesn't trust the knee yet. It will take him a while to recover. But Chelsea fans keep going on, hey, Rudiger is only playing in a 3, that's why. Rudiger this. Look at Van Dijk, the best defender in the world. That's what they said. He's struggling since coming back from injury.
Yesterday, I was saying that. Somebody was saying Rudiger could only play in the 3. I was like, how can you say that?
That was me. I didn't say that he couldn't play in a 3. I said he was better in a 3. I didn't say he couldn't play in a 3. I said he was better in a 3. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about the other streams. I hear fans going on Twitter about how Rudiger this. Because of coming back from injury, everybody judge him on that. Look at Van Dijk.
In a way, Max, Mo, in a way, it's the same to a lesser extent for Barkley. I think Barkley's poor form is injury related. That kid's a good player. Well, he's not a kid anymore, but, he's a good player. But, he's had 2 really nasty injuries, big injuries, muscle injuries. And it's bound to have a mental effect on your ability. I really believe that. But you're right. Chelsea fan base haven't always been fair to Rudiger. That's true. But, they've learned. They've seen the real Rudiger now. And I don't think, you won't be a Chelsea fan if you're not a Rudiger fan at this point in time. You'd be crazy.
100%.
Yeah.
I think I'll need to leave now. And all I can say is sign Rudiger, give the man or his,
give him his contract.
100% agree. 100%.
What I saw today of Rudiger, the energy that guy brings to our defense and to our midfield, and the joy in his face when he bumped those guys on the floor, it's just different level of defending. And so Rudiger has to stay at Chelsea. There's no reason why he cannot stay at Chelsea.
But Boogie, does that look like a man who doesn't want to sign for us?
What's that?
The way he played today, does it look like a man who doesn't want to sign a contract for us?
Absolutely not.
I think he want to stay, that's for sure. But he's still trying to prove us that if we let him go,
it'll be a mistake.
We will regret it. That's what it is. That's the joy, you can see it. He's so free in his mind. He doesn't care what's going to happen tomorrow because he knows he has all the car in his hand. So he's the one deciding. It's not Chelsea. So Chelsea needs just to give him whatever he wants. That's all it is. There's no other way at this point. There's no negotiation. We give him whatever he wants because what I saw today, Malmo, they're not cheap anyways. We know we're going to beat them, but still what the guy showed today. Reason why I forgot about Malang Sarr quick. So,
but it does that with everybody. You know, Malmo notwithstanding, that's just Rudiger.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Definitely.
People may say today was just Malmo, but he's doing the same thing over and over and over and over against all the opposition. So, okay, Max.
Okay, thanks for being on, Boogie Man. We'll see you later. Have a good rest.
Take care, Boogie Man. Take care, bro.
See you guys when I see you, man.
Yeah, big up to Ankit as well on the chat. So yeah, 4:30 over there. So enough respect coming on this time. And I'm just gonna get Ty and DJ's talk on Andreas Christensen. Then we'll finish up with a question by Giga Lefu, I think it is. He's got a question. I'm going to put it up on here, but let's let you two talk about Christensen for a minute. Then we'll just address this question, then we'll finish the stream. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to go, Ty?
Yeah, sure. I have to leave as well. So yeah,
you go first.
All right. Thanks. I actually had a pinned tweet of Christensen months ago about fans giving up on him too early because I can remember Barcelona. That's the game that really shattered his confidence. And I mean, with the different managers and the chop and changing of managers, it didn't really give him the chance to increase. And like you said, Thiago Silva is a really big impact, and not only to him, but Reece James has said it on multiple occasions, Chalobah as well. But with Christensen, I mean, he's shown that you cannot give up on players because if they get that confidence back, they can prove to be an important player. And that is why months ago I said you shouldn't give up on him, even though, he made that mistake versus Aston Villa, that 1-0 or the goal that really led to. And Frank Lampard even backed him and said that, give him time, he'll do better. But with Christensen is a great player. He just needs support. And, he got his confidence back, having the Euros that he had, reaching that far he did with Denmark. That gives him an extended amount of confidence, especially with the Champions League, like Bobby said. The performance and everything, it's very good because Christensen has suffered a lot. And I'm happy that he's getting this, and I'm happy that he scored a goal because I've been waiting to see him score a goal. And that goal, it was exactly one of the goals that Ricardo Carvalho scored, actually. I rewatched all his goals, and that was actually a goal he scored. But, I'm really happy for Christensen. I'm happy with the fact that he's getting back into the team and his confidence is increasing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. DJ?
Yeah, everything Ty's just said, I'll go along with it. I mean, the guy's come a long way. I mean, I have to say, I was one of those who also was at one point doubting him because I thought he was weak for us at the back. He was making a lot of mistakes. But this guy, he's improved, and I think he's come through a lot. I think we've got to remember, I mean, to be embarrassed as well, I have to say, by one of our former managers telling him he has a bit of a problem before a football match. I thought that was a little bit bit harsh as well. But he's obviously come out of all this. The guy's obviously improved. He's obviously tonked himself a little bit in the gym. As you said earlier on, Max, I mean, for him to play alongside two young defenders and him being the senior one on Saturday just shows you how far this guy's come. And, for me, I think you see leadership. I also see leadership skills in this guy as well. I mean, you can see he's got that in his abundance as well. And I think you may see him one day, if he gets that contract, which I think he's going to do, he may maybe at some point become Chelsea future captain at some point as well. I think he can make it to that if he really takes his game to a toll from now on upwards and gets himself more up the objective, gets himself more and more up. I can see this guy really, really, really being a really good defender for many years still to go. So yeah, I'm very happy for him, and long it may continue.
Yeah, and you know something? I'm not sure if a lot of you guys know about this, because there was a point where Chelsea were muted to be selling him, or clubs were after him. But somebody within the club said, or some people said in the club, no, we're not going to let this player go because there's we know there's a good defender in there, and they didn't want to make the same mistakes that they made with De Bruyne, Mo Salah, and others. So that's why they were adamant they weren't going to sell him. I'm not sure if Mo, you've heard that story as well, because
Yeah,
you heard that story as well. Yeah.
It was in September last year, or with the extended transfer window.
Because
it was Neil
John
Bass
Terry
that stopped it
as well.
Neil Bath,
you remember Neil Bass stop it because last year we all forgot Lampard gave Christensen a lot of chances, but towards the end Lampard fall out with both him and Rudiger and Samori. Yes, so that's why even Christensen's contract was put on hold. It was Neil Bass that fought for him. Said this will be the biggest mistake the club do. So that's why a lot of contracts were put on hold, because of the manager. So that's why it was Neil Bass that fought for it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, what a good decision that was for us to be mentioning Christensen in the same breath of as a legend, like Ricky Carvalho. I mean, that is praise indeed. Because Carvalho is the cream. He was one of the best defenders around. Not very big, but he was pure class.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. Him and Terry, that partnership was probably the best central defensive partnership I've seen at Chelsea.
And then you had William Gallas that came into it as well. He did well for us.
Yeah, because Gallas was there, and we had to shove Gallas to the wing, to the left, mate, didn't we? Because those two were so good. Because I thought Gallas and Terry were really good. I thought nothing would better that when Cavallo. Because I think Cavallo suited Terry because Cavallo was like the silky ball player. Yeah. And he used to come, and then Terry used to sweep up behind, and he was kind of they said there was a great balance between the two. And I always remember it was him who. Remember when we played that game against Barcelona where we won 4-2? Do you remember that little cheeky thing?
He nudged him out of the way in John Terry's header.
Yeah.
I remember that very
Ricky
well.
was small, but he had a bit of spite about him.
That's what you want to see.
I tell you what, Max, you're bringing back memories. Can you remember that goal when him and Drogba combined and he put the ball in the back? I think it was their last game of the season
against
when they won the
United.
league. United, and they did that little celebration with the zip thing afterwards. Oh, mate, what a goal! What a run and goal that was. Drogba and him. Oh, man.
He was very good at messing about like Rudiger. Like he played with. He would kick the ball and back the passing or whatever. He was good at it. He was since Ricardo Carvalho. The only person that used to do that a little bit, it was David Luiz, and now we have Rudiger that does it all the time. You know.
They were good snips.
I think you need that. You need to upset defenders or do whatever. I remember when I used to train with younger players, and I had a striker in my team, and he was really good. So you know what I did in training? I was just on him all the time. I was doing this little dirt. I was in his face. Is that all you got? Is that all you got? And I was giving, and he totally came off his game. I said, listen, the reason I'm doing that to you is because every defenders are going to try every trick in the book to put you off your game. So you need to be able to cope with this. You need to be able to get into the zone and not let this affect you. You know, because it works. You know, especially with younger players when if you're showing them, this trying all the dark arts in football to put them off their game. Then and that's what I love. I love to see that. That's what Rudiger does. We saw that. With Suarez, he gave Suarez the Suarez treatment when we played him last season. Just those little things. Yeah. But anyway,
Sorry, bring in one more quick topic. But Georgie mixed up the old penalties a bit today, didn't he?
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I did love that. Yeah, because I think he still did the little hop, but he put a bit more power into it. I think.
He's probably doing it for Anders.
But if you notice, the goalkeepers are standing up a bit longer now with his penalties because before they used to commit. He's still giving them the eyes, but he's giving them a bit more power. It's not passing it into the back of the net. So that was good. I think he's changed his technique a bit.
I mean, he did say he has to change it though.
Yeah. But let's address this last question before I go. It's midnight over here. It's getting late. So it's Gigalefu Medletsi. Sorry if I butchered your name, but yeah, I've got a question for the panel. Do you think footballers these days are more robotic and fitness instead of talent and creativity and lack of imagination? For me, the bar is low. Too many basic fit players. I'll tell you that for. I think there's a lot of people who play to a system nowadays, isn't there? Because lots of managers, like I think there's Sarri had it with us. Even Pep has systems where you've got different areas in which you operate in. Now, back in the day when I was growing up, even probably older than you, Mo, and think probably me and Bobby will remember these when you had the likes of QPR with your Stanley Bowles and people like that. And Frank Worthingtons, and it was just go out and play. Just go out and do your stuff. There was no. There was obviously there were tactics, but it was looser sense of tactics now. But now that you've got like, there's a lot more freedom because every game now is analysed. Every game is televised now. So managers have got the boards, the tactic boards. They see games. They've got sports scientists who come in now and do a lot of the analysis and everything else. So it's going to be harder to express yourself because teams know more about you. They know if you like to go inside or outside, or your strong foot, or what dribbles you do. And so there's more studying of players nowadays. So I just think that it's more system than individualistic. I think Mourinho, when Mourinho was here, what he did, he had a defensive structure. But what he did, he said to the players in the final third, he wanted them to think for themselves and make their own decisions as well. Obviously, there were some sort of formations where he had some patterns of play, but a lot of times he did encourage that individualistic thing. I think that Pep does that as well. Sometimes he's got the patterns of play, but he does try and encourage individual brilliance as well. But a lot of teams now just play to a specific system and they play with these kind of rigid roles. So that's why I think it seems more robotic now than before. Does anyone else want to add to that?
Yeah, I'll add. Okay. That must be.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right, Max. That's true. You remember even Sarri as well said it. That's why, like on the Sarri system, the first part we struggle, but as soon as he found Rubin, Hazard, and Cho playing, the second part of the season was great because he gives from defense to midfield is structured. But when he gets to the box or whatever, the offensive players are free to do whatever they like. But people like Pep, everything is structured. Even Klopp, everything is structured. Everybody have to be in certain position. So the reason why now skillful players cannot express themselves is because of, like what we were saying, they don't have freedom. It's not that the players don't have the skill set. It's because of managers don't give them the freedom. A team like Chelsea, you will not have, what's his name, the Wilfred Zaha. Remember, he went to Manchester United, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A team like Chelsea, you will not have, what's his name, the Newcastle guy.
Sir Maximin.
Yeah. You will not have the big teams will not sign him. Not because of he's not a good player. They cannot fit him in a system because you need to give him the freedom to do whatever he likes. That's the best way. So now it's more system. It's not like the players are not there. Like Chelsea have players that can play like that, but if they play like that, they will be out of the club.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the two examples that you gave with Liverpool and Man City, with Man City in particular, I can remember with Joao Cancelo, he's more creative, but going to Man City, he has had to be more defensive. He's not doing as much as doing the crosses, doing things like that. You see him do it in some games, but that's when it's freestyle type of the game. Especially that reminds me of the Burnley game. He was doing it, him and Bernardo Silva linking up and those type of things. But that's not something you really see. But yeah, I agree with it does look robotic, but it really isn't the case. It's sometimes, well, in Chelsea's case, it's about the players wanting to impress the manager, not wanting to lose their position. So sometimes they try to stick to the system. They don't try to do things new. Sometimes they'll do it, but it's not really as common as before. You might like Rudiger, for example. Rudiger was in the box. He was working so hard. He was playing as a second wing back. That's not something you're really supposed to be seeing, but sometimes they'll do it. They'll try to break out of that structure to do something. But these days, it's more about them trying to stick to the system, not trying to do something, make a mistake, and then lose their position. So it's not robotic. It's just that they don't have that mindset to do it as consistent as they should, because they want to ensure that they don't make a mistake that will cost them their position. But it's not only Chelsea though. There's a lot of cases like that with like Man City and Liverpool. Both of them, you have to change the way you play to suit their system. They don't change their system to fit the players. They have to change it, because Thiago Alcantara, for example, that the way he's playing now, that's not how he used to play at Bayern Munich. But he has had to change the way he plays, and that's why he isn't really as impactful as he was at Bayern Munich.
And yeah, you make a good point, Ty, because I remember, if you guys remember Sergio Aguero, when Pep first came, he left him out of the side, didn't he? Why?
Yeah.
Because he couldn't press. So he had Jesus in there until Aguero learned how to play his pressing game. He wasn't in the side. So if you look at the way Aguero had to adapt his style of play to get back into that Manchester City team.
Yeah.
Now that he had those injuries now, and he wasn't as sharp with the pressing again last season, he hardly played any games because he wasn't fit enough to do that sort of pressing style. And that's why Jesus plays a lot. Against us, he was perfect for that role, wasn't he? Him, Jack Grealish, and all those guys, because they were pressing hard against us. And that, going back to the Lukaku situation, that's why you don't see us pressing as hard this season, because of the fact that we've got Lukaku in the team. Bobby, DJ, did you want to say anything on this matter?
Yeah, I think you guys have said it all. Really, it's exactly that. In terms of players having to fit into a specific system and a specific way of playing, you can see that with Ziyech. He's got to be more physical. I'm not sure he presses enough, to be honest, and that's why he's on the bench. That's just how it is with modern day clubs, especially top clubs.
Yeah. Good point, bigger man. Is it about Cho? That's why Cho doesn't get in as often, because if he's not following the instructions, then he's not. Yeah.
Just like it was mentioned with him being a substitute and then being subbed off, because that was what he was doing against Southampton. He was trying to cut in, but then his passes kept being intercepted and deflected out. So that's something.
Yeah. But yeah, so Gigalef makes a great point. Yeah, so we don't get the Ronaldinhos anymore, do we? The guys, the artists, the ones who can get you off the seat. Even if you look at Brazil, I remember back in the 80s, 90s, Brazil, I know Bobby, Mo, you, and even you, DJ. Remember those Brazilian sides with Edu, Falcao, and people like that? They were a joy to see. Even now, they're just more systematic. They're more Freds now. You got Fred. You got people like that in their midfield. Because the only one who was sort of Dunga was the kind of water carrier. All the other players were the ones who just went out and expressed themselves. Even their fullbacks were expressive. But now it's just, you look at the Brazilian side now. Apart from Neymar, there's nobody else who you can say is really a bit of a showman.
I going back to the Brazil team, one of my all-time Brazilian players' favorites had to be Romario. What a player he was!
Yeah. He was brilliant.
Romario, oh my God, what a player! He was another one.
Absolutely,
But even they know Fat Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But you appreciate. You appreciate him more now that you haven't seen. Back in the day, I always appreciated him at the time, but looking back at some of his old videos now, I knew he was good, but when you're looking back, you're thinking this guy was exceptional. He was such a talent.
And
And remember
remember,
the
he
guy.
doesn't press. He doesn't press as well.
Yeah,
He doesn't
and-
press as well. And George Weah as well doesn't press.
Yeah.
George Weah.
But
I
you
don't
know
think they
what?
need to. Those sort of.
You know what? Going back to Ronaldo, he's the reason we got to thank. He's the reason we are as good as we are today. Do you know that? I'll tell you why. Yeah, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Because Roman Abramovich went to see Manchester United against Real Madrid in the Champions League. I think Ronaldo scored 2 that day or 3 that day, and that's when he fell in love with the game. And he said, "I've got to buy a football club." So a hat trick. Was it a hat trick? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
and that's so. Yeah. So he's the reason we got to thank him for.
He's always in everything these days.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Some of those players we were talking about, it's a shame some of them didn't play their trade here, isn't it? You're talking about the likes of Ronaldo.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going back to Cafu. You know,
Yeah, I know,
Roberto Carlos. We could have had Roberto Carlos at one stage. Remember that?
And Kaká. We could have had
And
Kaká.
Kaká.
Apparently.
Yeah, Kaká.
Yeah. But
Kaká kind
going
of
back to
lost his form a bit, didn't he? Towards
yeah.
the time he
But
left.
going back to George Weah.
George Weah,
Right?
what a
You
player.
spoke about George Weah. I was at the game where he made his debut against Tottenham. He played against Tottenham, the first game for Chelsea. Live at Stamford Bridge at the top tier.
Yeah.
This guy, you appreciate his movement. His movement was second to
Yeah.
none. You know, TV doesn't do it justice. When you see this guy in the flesh, I thought, whoa, I couldn't believe it. Viardi had good movement, but when I saw that guy's movement, it was just like, and he was was he 32 or 33 when he came to us?
32, I think.
Yeah,
32.
Was
Yeah.
33?
Yeah,
32.
the guy's movement was superb. Yeah. So I just wish that he was a bit younger, because did he go on to
Do you know
Everton?
he's still a Chelsea fan?
No, I didn't know he was. Is he?
Listen, once someone comes to Chelsea, there's something about Chelsea, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because once a player comes to Chelsea, they remain a Chelsea supporter. You know, whether you're been at the club for 1 year or 10 years, you just become a Chelsea supporter.
Yeah, Diego Costa, Oscar is one as well.
Ballack was only 3 seasons. Ballack's a supporter.
Yeah,
I think he likes us more than he does the German clubs, doesn't he, Ballack?
Yeah.
Crespo's still a supporter, although he only stayed for a couple of seasons because his wife got homesick, but he's a supporter as well. Yeah.
I miss us signing players who score against us.
My phone's going to go in a minute.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm putting this stream to an end. I was meant to.
Yeah.
Then we always end up talking about
this always happens. You always go back in history and then talk.
It always goes back to nostalgia. Yeah. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining. As I said, this was a last-minute stream, so thanks for having you.
Excellent stream.
Thanks for all the guys in the chat as well.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us on, Max. Much appreciated.
Thanks, mate. Nice one.
So Bobby, this one was for you, mate. So
cheers, brother. That's a good one. Thanks.
Yeah. So I'll try and do a bit more, but I won't tread on Mr. I think Blue Lounge is doing a good job. So when he's not around, I'll time to time. So everyone on the Blue Lounge tomorrow, I'll probably be on there tomorrow, hopefully. So take care, everyone.
Take care. Good night.
Thanks for joining. And see you later. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. No outro for me neither, because I'm not as professional. So take care. Bye-bye.